Some airport finds are unbelievable. As people try to sneak items past airport security, you will be shocked at what travelers try to carry through airports. An airplane is no place for sharp objects, dangerous items, or things people try to smuggle through security. In the United States, the TSA, or Transportation Security Administration, runs these checks as part of airport facts. The agency shares some of the strangest things found by airport security. Each year, they report on the unusual items they find in bags and on people. In this video, we will look at X-ray finds airport staff have made in many countries. Where do you live? Has your local airport ever had a strange discovery that made the news? Number 1. Cocaine stuffed wig. On February 20th, 2025, police at Cartagena's Rafael Núñez International Airport in Colombia stopped a 40-year-old man preparing to board a plane to Amsterdam. Officers noticed that his hair looked unusual. A quick scan and pat-down confirmed their concerns. When the wig was removed, they uncovered 19 capsules of cocaine taped to his scalp. The total amount weighed about 8 ounces, valued at roughly 10,000 EUR, or around 11,500 USD. Police shared video of the arrest only a few days later. Cartagena's police commander explained that profiling experts had already identified the man before he reached the scanners. After the wig was lifted, tests verified the drugs. Officials said the capsules equaled about 400 doses. The suspect already had 2 past trafficking cases and was quickly turned over to prosecutors. This was not even the first time smugglers used a wig. In 2019, Spanish police at Barcelona El Prat stopped a traveler from Bogota who had glued over 17 ounces of cocaine under a large, uneven toupee. That story also spread widely because the hairpiece looked so strange. Number 2. Snakes in the pants. In July of 2024, customs officers at Fujian Port in Shenzhen, China, stopped a man entering from Hong Kong because his pants looked unusually bulky. Inside his pockets, they found 6 taped canvas bags, each one moving. When they opened them, they discovered 104 live snakes in different colors and sizes. The collection included milk snakes, western hognose snakes, corn snakes, Texas rat snakes, and bull snakes. These species are common in the exotic pet market, but do not come from China. None of them were venomous. But the real danger came from the possibility of introducing invasive species. Customs later released photos and video showing clear inner bags filled with young snakes moving around. The traveler was taken into custody and the animals were seized. This story shows that there really is no limit to the tricks people come up with to slip things past customs. And surprisingly, this is only the tip of the iceberg. Number 3. Hidden ammunition in deodorant. In 2021, the TSA made a surprising find at Atlantic City International Airport. During a standard X-ray check, officers noticed something unusual inside a passenger's carry-on. The scan revealed 6 bullets carefully hidden inside what looked like an ordinary stick of deodorant. The person had hollowed out the deodorant, placed the ammunition inside, and closed it again, hoping it would pass unnoticed. However, modern airport scanners are extremely advanced, and no matter how clever the hiding method was, the X-ray easily detected the solid shape of the bullets. The TSA removed the ammunition and questioned the traveler. No further threat came from the situation. As airport security becomes stricter everywhere, the chance for creative hiding methods to succeed gets smaller each year. If you find stories like this unique and worth following, don't forget to tap the hype button on your phone to support the channel and stay tuned for even stranger discoveries ahead. Number 4. The Wheelchair of Misfortune. In 2022 at New York's John F. Kennedy International Airport, customs officers uncovered a large drug smuggling attempt that was hidden in an unexpected way. They became suspicious when they noticed that a passenger's wheelchair did not move the way a normal one should. After taking a closer look, they were stunned to find about 28 pounds of cocaine packed inside the wheels of the chair. The drugs, valued at more than 450,000 USD, were carefully placed inside the wheel hub's entire areas so the wheelchair looked completely ordinary. The traveler, a 22-year-old woman from the Dominican Republic, had been persuaded by a trafficking group to bring the cocaine into the United States. She claimed she had no idea the drugs were hidden in her wheelchair, but she was still arrested and charged with federal drug smuggling. The discovery happened thanks to the careful attention and strong inspection skills of the Customs and Border Protection officers. The cocaine was turned over to the DEA for further investigation. while the woman faced the legal consequences of being involved in the transport of the drugs. Even though she said she did not know they were there, the creativity is insane. On a scale of 1 to 10, how clever do you think this hiding spot was? Comment your number. Number 5. Tiger Cub in a Suitcase. In August of 2010, security staff at Bangkok's Suvarnabhumi airport put an oversized checked suitcase through the X-ray scanner and froze in shock. The image showed more than stuffed toys. It revealed bones and even a faint heartbeat. When officers opened the suitcase, they found a 2-month-old tiger cub. Sedated and placed between soft toy tigers, the passenger was a 31-year-old Thai woman checking in for a Mahan air flight to Iran. She was taken into custody at once and the cub was rescued. Wildlife officials brought the young tiger to veterinary care under Thailand's Department of National Parks Wildlife and Plant Conservation. Investigators said they would run DNA testing to determine whether the cub came from a breeding center or had been taken from the wild. Either way, the global trade of tigers is illegal, and transporting a live cub in a suitcase breaks international law. Number 6. Blade in a Bread. On November 22, 2023, the day before Thanksgiving, officers at Seattle-Tacoma International Airport noticed an odd shape on the X-ray screen. They inspected the bag, opened a packaged loaf of keto bread, and discovered a folding pocket knife pushed into the center of the loaf. TSA's Pacific Northwest team shared the photo that morning, and many joked about the bread and knife combination. Regional spokesperson Lori Dankers explained why it was so clear on the scanner. Food appears light on X-ray, while a metal blade shows up as a dark, solid shape. What happened afterward? TSA reported that the traveler would receive a civil fine for trying to hide the knife. No name was released and no arrest was made. The knife was taken and recorded, and the passenger was cited before continuing on their way. Speaking of TSA and their incredible fines, what's your take on airport security? Too strict or just right? Share your airport security experiences and thoughts about TSA's work in the comments. Your stories might be just as wild as these. Number 7. The Peanut Butter Pot. A routine check at Pittsburgh International Airport turned into a surprising moment when a jar of peanut butter activated a security alert. TSA officers expected a normal inspection, but what they found inside the jar was far from ordinary. Hidden within the peanut butter were 3 vape canisters filled with marijuana. Sealed inside plastic bags, the passenger argued that the cannabis was for medical use and that they had a valid prescription. However, federal law still classifies marijuana as illegal in every form, whether meant for treatment or recreation. TSA also bans marijuana from all checked and carry-on bags. Despite the traveler's explanation, they face the fact that bringing marijuana through airport security can lead to serious legal trouble. The incident quickly spread online as people joked about hiding drugs in peanut butter. Some guessed that the passenger believed they could rely on TSA's usual allowance of peanut butter, which can normally be packed in either checked or carry-on bags. Just before Christmas, on December 22, 2022, alarms sounded in the checked baggage screening area at Terminal 8 of New York's JFK Airport. Officers opened a suspicious suitcase and found 2 jars of peanut butter that looked untouched. But when they cut them open, they discovered pieces of a .22 caliber semi-automatic handgun wrapped in plastic, along with a loaded magazine placed straight through the peanut butter. Officers photographed the messy weapon parts and notified Port Authority police. They located the passenger in the terminal, a man from Rhode Island, and arrested him on the spot. TSA later placed the strange discovery on its yearly top 10 list of unusual finds, joking that the packaging was smooth and creamy, but the attempt to hide a gun was certainly not. Number 8. Sword at the Gate. In October of 2024, TSA officers at New York's LaGuardia Airport sent a carry-on bag through the X-ray and immediately stopped. The shape on the screen was impossible to miss. When they opened the bag, they pulled out a full katana, a sword commonly linked with samurai. The traveler, a woman departing from New York, had the sword taken from her right away. Port Authority police issued her a summons for court, and her trip ended before she could board her flight. TSA later reminded travelers of an important rule. Swords cannot ever be brought in a carry-on. If someone needs to transport one, it must go in checked luggage and be secured in a cover or wrapped so it cannot hurt anyone handling the bag. And this was not the first sword discovered at LaGuardia. In December of 2021, officers seized another sword at the checkpoint. Whether it is a real weapon or a replica, a sword is still considered dangerous. Number 9. Crab Boil Contraband. In late October of 2023, officers at Louis Armstrong New Orleans International Airport stopped a bag after the X-ray showed something unusual. When they opened it, they found an item almost every local would recognize: a 3-pound container of Zatarain's Pro-Boil crab boil seasoning. At first glance, the jar appeared properly sealed, but a closer look revealed something different. The paper seal had been neatly lifted and glued back in place, and inside was a gallon-sized plastic bag wrapped in blue painter's tape. Packed inside that bundle was about 1 pound of crystal meth. TSA officers photographed the jar and the taped package, then handed everything to law enforcement. The passenger tied to the bag was found, arrested at the airport, and charged at the federal level. Number 10. Tarantulas. In July of 2025, German customs at Cologne Bonn Airport opened what they believed were cake boxes shipped from Vietnam. Instead of desserts, they uncovered about 500 baby tarantulas packed into small plastic cups. The smell exposed the truth. Many of the spiders had not survived, but the rest were transferred to handlers while a criminal case was opened for animal welfare violations and unpaid import fees. On October 3, 2012, Dutch customs at Amsterdam's Schiphol Airport opened a suitcase that immediately alarmed them. Inside were not clothes or gifts, but around 200 live tarantulas. The travelers, a German couple arriving from Peru, had hidden the spiders in plastic containers and tubes tucked between socks, shirts, and even inside shoes. Along with the tarantulas were centipedes, crickets, beetles, and grasshoppers. Officials explained that many of the species were rare, with some barely known to scientists. The animals were taken at once and turned over to the Dutch Food and Consumer Authority. Reports from that day said the couple claimed they collected the creatures themselves in Peru, but customs officers noted the clear danger. Tarantulas and centipedes are venomous, and the animals were packed carelessly throughout their belongings. Early reports did not list charges, but the creatures never made it through security. And this was not the only case. The exotic pet market continues to produce attempts to move spiders through airports. Number 11. The fish smuggler skirt. In 2005, customs officers at Melbourne Airport kept hearing a faint flapping sound near a passenger's waist. When they searched her, the cause became clear. Under her dress, she had a handmade apron with 15 water-filled pockets, each one holding a bag of tropical fish. In total, she had 51 live fish strapped to her body. The passenger had arrived from Singapore. Officers seized the animals at once, and photos later showed rows of clear bags taken from beneath her skirt. Among them were 14 catfish and a rare Asian arowana, a species highly valued on the illegal wildlife market and often worth tens of thousands of dollars. A later search of her home revealed 5 additional fish. The penalties at that time were severe. Bringing wildlife into the country without permission could lead to fines of up to 110,000 Australian dollars and up to 10 years in prison. In March 2007, the passenger pleaded guilty to trying to import protected wildlife and received a sentence of 9 months of community service. Number 12. The iPhone jacket smuggling attempt. In 2014, a smuggling attempt so unusual it could almost pass as a comedy took place at an airport in China. A man from Hong Kong had turned himself into what could only be described as an iPhone-covered warrior. But instead of showing off the technology, he immediately became the focus of airport security. And for a very obvious reason, once he stepped through the metal detector, his entire plan collapsed. The machine lit up instantly, exposing the large number of iPhones strapped beneath his clothing. When officers removed the layers of tape and devices, they uncovered the full scale of the plan. 94 brand new iPhones had been brought in from Hong Kong. At the time, the demand for iPhones in China was extremely high. New models sold out fast, and rising prices made them valuable items to smuggle. Number 13. A crocodile in the luggage. In 2022, an incident at Munich airport pushed the limits of strange smuggling attempts. A 42-year-old American man was caught trying to transport a live albino crocodile inside his luggage. The idea of hiding a 3-foot-long crocodile in a suitcase might sound like a prank, but this case was real, as the suitcase passed through the airport's X-ray machine. Security staff saw unusual shapes that caused concern. When they opened the bag, they found the rare albino crocodile, stressed but surprisingly still alive despite the cramped space. Wildlife specialists were called right away, and the animal was carefully removed and taken to a nearby sanctuary for proper care. With the demand for rare animals increasing, the fight against illegal wildlife trade has become even more important. Cases like this show that no matter how inventive smugglers become, their attempts cannot outsmart trained airport security teams. Number 14, the mattress. Human trafficking, including the illegal movement of people across borders, continues to be a major global problem. Individuals known as coyotes are sometimes paid to move people into new countries without proper documentation. These actions put the lives and safety of those being transported at serious risk. In 2019, authorities in Spain stopped 2 men who were trying to enter Europe by hiding inside a mattress. The men were found to be in stable condition and did not need medical treatment. The incident shows the extreme methods traffickers may use to avoid border checks. Cases like this highlight the need for careful security systems at crossings to prevent illegal entry and protect both public safety and the individuals involved. Number 15, a cannonball. In February of 2012, TSA agents at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport opened a checked bag and stopped in shock. Inside, they found not clothing or travel items, but a cannonball covered in coral, recently taken from the ocean. The traveler, a diver, admitted he had recovered it near an 18th century shipwreck. That was when the situation became serious. The bomb squad rushed in, and the baggage area was cleared while experts tested the object. It turned out the cannonball was not a harmless relic. It was still capable of exploding. This was not an overreaction. Old shells were often filled with black powder and sealed with a fuse. Black powder does not weaken quickly and can stay dangerous for centuries, even after being underwater. Civil War cannonballs are still found today in the United States, and bomb teams often destroy them immediately because some still contain active powder. TSA is clear about the rule. Anything containing gunpowder is banned from luggage. That includes black powder, percussion caps, and even antique ammunition. And people still attempt it. At Hawaii's Kahului Airport, officers once found a bag holding a cannonball along with an antique flare gun. As in Florida, the bomb squad had to secure the items before it was safe. Number 16, stuffed chicken. On September 27, 2022, just after 6 in the morning at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport, screeners removed a raw chicken from a checked bag. What they did not expect was what was inside it. Wrapped in plastic and placed inside the cavity was a handgun. Because the passenger was flying on an international trip to Port-au-Prince, Haiti, U.S. Customs officers were notified right away. TSA later posted photos online filled with chicken-related jokes, and the story quickly spread in November. A passenger caught trying to hide a firearm in an unsafe and unusual way. TSA posted an image showing the gun inside the raw chicken. But the situation was no joke for security. Florida airports were already experiencing a record year, with more than 700 guns stopped at checkpoints by early November. Officers were not taking chances. The rule is simple. If a traveler brings a firearm, it must be unloaded, locked in a hard case, and declared to the airline. It must be placed in checked luggage, never carry on bags, never loose in a suitcase, and certainly not hidden inside food. Violating this rule can lead to civil fines up to $14,950 and possible criminal charges. And the issue is growing nationwide. In 2024, TSA found 678 firearms at checkpoints, with 94% of them loaded. Number 17, knife and laptop. On November 11, 2022, a carry-on bag passed through screening at Richmond International Airport in Virginia, and something unusual showed up on the X-ray. The image looked exactly like a knife hidden inside a laptop. Officers removed the bag, took out the computer, and scanned everything again. The shape remained. With the help of airport police, they opened the laptop and discovered a double-edged blade hidden inside the casing. The passenger, a man from Williamsburg, first said he did not know about it, but soon admitted the weapon belonged to him. TSA described it as an artfully concealed attempt, and the case made their top 10 catches list for 2022. The man did not make his flight and left the checkpoint with police officers. Number 18, the foul luggage fiasco. Imagine opening a suitcase and finding dead birds inside. It sounds like a scene from a movie, but it happened to one traveler arriving at Dallas Airport in 2020. Customs officers were shocked when they found several small bird carcasses hidden in the passenger's luggage. The traveler, who had arrived from China, said the birds were meant to be used as food for cats. But because of strict rules about bringing animal products into the country, especially from places with a history of bird flu, officials were immediately concerned. The discovery set off a biosecurity alert because of the possibility of spreading diseases like avian influenza. Number 19, shocking cane seizure. In 2025, at Boise Airport, TSA officers found a walking cane that secretly held a high-voltage stun gun. The object looked like a mobility aid, but it was actually a working device capable of delivering an electric shock. The traveler explained that it was for protection, but TSA does not allow hidden weapons on aircraft regardless of the reason. The stun gun was taken during the inspection. This case shows how concealed weapons have become more advanced. TSA officers must stay alert because common objects like canes, umbrellas, and electronic devices can be altered to hide weapons or illegal items. Number 20. Gun hidden in a DVD player. In 2014, a routine inspection revealed a 9mm handgun hidden in an unexpected place inside a DVD player. The traveler was heading to Mexico. The gun parts were even wrapped in aluminum foil, possibly to trick the X-ray scanner. As the luggage passed through screening, officers noticed a strange shape inside the device. When they opened it, they found the disassembled pieces carefully stored inside. While traveling with a firearm in checked luggage is allowed under certain conditions, such as proper declaration and secure storage, this passenger had ignored all required rules. In recent years, the U.S. Transportation Security Administration has reported a rise in guns found at airports across the country. A 2023 TSA report recorded more than 6,500 firearms discovered in carry-on bags that year alone. The case at JFK is one example of how people continue to attempt dangerous smuggling, but strict security measures prevent many of these efforts. Stay tuned as we explore more surprising discoveries made by airport security, each one showing more about the complex and high-risk world of smuggling. Number 21. Golden Wig. Money is one of the most common things people try to move secretly across borders, often linked to attempts to hide or transfer wealth. In one case involving a traveler from India, security officers uncovered small pouches of gold hidden under a wig during a screening process. The total amount of gold weighed about 686 grams, roughly 24 ounces, with an estimated value of about $43,000 based on market prices. The passenger attempted to move the gold without reporting it, which led to the discovery. This case shows that precious metals such as gold are easily detected during airport checks, especially through metal detectors. Attempts to hide valuable items inside personal accessories, including wigs, can still be identified by trained officers. Number 22. Ninja Luggage Alert. TSA agents at airports including Boston, Logan, and Reagan National found multiple cases of throwing stars inside carry-on bags during routine inspections. The X-ray machines clearly showed shurikens along with other banned weapons. In some situations, entire sets that included daggers, nunchucks, and similar items were uncovered. These weapons were taken immediately, and law enforcement handled the cases. Passengers face penalties for breaking federal aviation rules. Throwing stars and related objects are considered dangerous and are banned from aircraft due to the risks they create. TSA has found these weapons hidden in many common items such as laptop sleeves, books, and pieces of clothing. Even with attempts to conceal them, modern scanners can detect their shapes easily. These incidents remind travelers to follow safety rules to protect everyone on board. Number 23. The Turtle Smuggling Operation. In 2019, an unusual wildlife crime case took place at Kuala Lumpur International Airport in Malaysia, when customs officers opened crates that had been declared as stones. Inside, they discovered 330 live turtles. The shipment was far from normal cargo. Instead, hundreds of rare and endangered turtles were packed tightly and prepared for transport. The turtles, which included rare species such as the glowing turtle and the quora, were believed to have been taken illegally from Madagascar, a country famous for its fragile and diverse ecosystems. These animals were likely meant for the illegal exotic pet trade, where rare species can bring very high prices from collectors. The rescued turtles were then placed in the care of conservation specialists so they could recover. The hope was that they would eventually return to their natural habitats. Stay with us as we continue exploring more airport security stories, each showing why protecting wildlife from human greed is so important. Number 24. Rocket Launcher Revelation. On January 16, 2023, baggage screeners at San Antonio International Airport opened a hard case and were shocked by what they found. Inside was an 84mm Carl Gustav recoilless rifle, the same launcher the U.S. military refers to as the M3 MAWS. At first, officials stated that the passenger had not declared it. The next day, they corrected the report. The traveler had declared it with the airline, but TSA was never informed. That gap in communication caused the bag to be flagged during screening, and officers stopped the process immediately. Police questioned the passenger. He said the launcher was demilitarized and was being taken to the SHOT Show in Las Vegas as a display item. He had paperwork to support this, and TSA's explosives expert verified it could not be fired. But procedures still applied. Supervisors decided it could not be transported. The launcher stayed in San Antonio and did not continue on the flight. Why was this taken so seriously? The Carl Gustaf is a real Swedish-made anti-armor launcher used by militaries worldwide. It can fire bunker-busting rounds and anti-tank ammunition. Even an inert version raises concern if the documentation is incomplete. If you thought these discoveries were insane, just wait until you see what other wild stories are out there. Hit that subscribe button for more unbelievable content, and let me know in the comments. Which discovery shocked you the most? Trust me, the world of airport security never stops delivering crazy stories.